All right, so this is the enclosure I built for my Budgie Parakeets. The reason I did it was I had them outside of this enclosure, and at first they were just staying around the 3 cages or the 2 cages in the little play area. But one day I was coming in from getting mail, and Coco, my alpha female bird, ended up just like, I guess when I opened the door, she flew around the door and like ended up going outside, and I was hoping she would like turn around or something, but I never saw her again. I saw her go around the house. So this is, because I have renters, I want to make sure like these birds don't get into places where, they're eating or pooping and stuff. So it's a really good design. I worked with my handyman named Gary. He lives in Northern Virginia, if you need someone to help work on your own house. But what I wanted to do was have a thing that's basically fully contained, look somewhat decent, and be removable in case I want to have a house party or put the house back to the way it was. I own the house, so I can actually do anything I want to it. If you have a rental house, then you probably don't want to drill into the wall without your landlord approval. I doubt your landlord's going to approve of drilling into their walls and the ceiling, but this is my house. I'm going to keep it for another 50 years, so I'll do whatever I want with it. And it's actually not that bad to put it back the way it was. You can fill in the holes with putty and paint, and we didn't drill into the floor, just the side walls and the ceiling. So one of the unique features of this is it's removable without too much work. So we put wing nuts here and here. So when you take that off, this whole section can come out. Now there is a screw down here and here to provide stability. Otherwise, every time you open the door, it would shake, and eventually it would ruin the hinges and everything. So these two have wing nuts here, and these two. So with let's see, 2 screws, 2 wing nuts, 2 wing nuts, 2 wing nuts, you could probably remove this entire thing within 3 minutes. And then that way, the only thing you would have is up here. Now this is this area that's attached is goes to the ceiling, so that's got screws into the studs, and basically it provides stability. But on the ground, it's actually not screwed into the ground, so you don't damage your hardwood floors. And it actually is stable. If you see I'm pushing on it, and unless you fall into it, it's not going to move. So I've had this for 3 months, and it actually has not had any issues. The only issue is the magnets here sometimes get misaligned or they don't stick. So there might be a better way to do that. I also put a little clasp here. That way, if there's a party or something, you want full protection, you can close that and then stick the screwdriver. So there's no way an accidental door opening, because once the door is open, these guys they'll just jump out. They used to do it more often when they I started after they got this, they used to fly everywhere, so they're a little better. I want to try to get them free flighting around the entire. So this is my area for. They can fly if I'm in the room watching. And one of the things I also did was on each door I put a clasp lock here, so that way if I really wanted to, I could put that way no one could accidentally walk in. But this was another thing Gary and I did. It's like a little screen, so that way if someone wanted to come in but you didn't want that lock to be on it, then this would prevent the bird from going out most likely. Now there's always that risk when you have a net that doesn't go to the ground or doesn't attach to the wall, that bird can get through. So everything is risk mitigation, and right now it's pretty good. I haven't had an issue, but at the same time, if I was doing 100% risk, then I would lock the door and put a sign outside or something. So this is a pretty good flight area. It's just they don't like to go to the kitchen, which is good because I don't want anything to mess with the food. But I have their little fan here, and I just leave this fan on. But they can fly everywhere. So I've read some online things about don't put a fan in front of the cage, but for them they seem to be okay with it, and they know when they want it and when they don't. Right now it's 76 degrees in here. It's summertime, so it gets 90 outside. And then I got this movable cart, and I could clean it up maybe a little better, but it's got food and toys and ropes and stuff. And then this is where they keep all their towels and other stuff. And one day I think I can make this look better. Right now I'm just kind of keeping it out. And then I have a spare cage here, and then a little RC car with a cage on top, which I've never used, but one day hopefully I can use it in the videos. So just a couple other things with this enclosure. I think so one thing we had to do is make it so it went around the trim, and that's Gary's specialty. He's had 50 years in like home construction, but he did a really good job. And one of the things I wanted to do was make this like, I think it was 42 inches. So when people walk down, if it's like too narrow, then they're going to hit the door and break it. So no one's hit it. So we have it the right height. So we wanted the maximum size, but not too big that it's getting in the way, not too small that you're wasting space. So this is, and what he did is he measured it. So when you walk here, it's perpendicular to, I thought we used some kind of mark. Looking around. Well, I remember like there was a specific reason we made it at this angle. I think it's also because these were symmetrical. You want them the same size. So it came out like this angle was perfect for exactly what we're doing. And like the switches for the house are out here while the fan lights here, but that just runs constantly. Don't have a problem with the birds getting a fan because it runs slowly, so they never hit. Sometimes they land on it actually. A couple modifications to the inside of the cage too. Just wanted to point out, I put in a Reolink digital camera system. Don't really use it now, but I thought if there's like a bird that gets injured, it's always nice to have a camera. So there's 4 cameras up here, and what it does is it goes to this box. We wired the, here's a box, you got a monitor, I just leave it off. That's the DVD-R, and then the wire is like, it goes like around up here and then down here. So now we have a way to see if there's anything happens to them. And then I had blinds like the ones over here. And so the problem with that was they were eating the blinds. So I ended up going with curtain rods and curtains, because these curtains are on Amazon. Like they don't tear them up, but they like playing with them. Sometimes Jasmine will get in between them and stuff. And then, what are you doing, Jasmine? I think she wants to be famous. And then the other issue was, and the other issue was like ropes. So we wanted to try to put some like, what do you call, eye hooks in the ceiling. And that enables it to, you can hang stuff. Like this was a little hammock, label specifically, shredded up. And then these are about $11 on Amazon. And they like going on these and like climbing up. And I had to protect the wires with little, what do you call them? Those things from like paper towels and toilet paper, because they were eating those. This is actually a kit. You can get them for like 12 bucks. It has this and a couple perches. And these are like special, I think they're like Cecil ropes, or that you can get them on Home Depot for a few bucks. The other one is like a little camera here. This like you can use it by the phone. Don't really use it that much. And then I got like this little thing I found some neighbors getting rid of just to hold this other cage, which most of them don't use. This thing is also on Amazon. It's like a, oh, sorry about that. It's like I think it's Purview Products, but it actually is pretty good. They got 2 sizes. This is a small one. I wanted the larger one, but I didn't have enough room to fit it in here. This is like from a tree, a crepe myrtle tree outside. Sometimes my neighbor will cut the branches and give them to me. And then this cage is on Amazon. It's only like $130. It's probably one of the best deals for a flight cage. And the same company, Purview Products, makes this cage too. So that's most of the things we did. I was going to put something on the ground to protect it from like, bird poops, but I haven't figured out that yet. I guess I'll look for some like linoleum or something. Oh yeah, the other problem was they were eating the trim up here, so they ended up, Gary started to make like little, I guess they're PVC boards, which I was like, you can get like manufactured pine or PVC. The birds from like the forums are saying they don't eat the PVC, but this like enables to allow them to like go up here without eating the trim. So behind the trim, you can see marks from their beak. They'll chew anything that's like wooden, and basically this allows like them. And then we built a shelf last week because they were pissed that the trim they were sitting on was gone. So we took a 1x3x8 PVC board and then kind of like make like a little shelf around there, and that's about it. And so this whole thing that costs, I don't know. I'm sure this thing was the most expensive, and it's mostly labor. The materials, this is just like 3-foot steel mesh. I think it's galvanized, which is not the best material, but I don't know like where you can get the stuff that's stainless steel, but if you can get that, it's better. This one has zinc in it, I believe, but the birds actually never peck on it. This is like manufactured pine, which I think, again, you don't want this if you can possibly avoid it, but it's white, and it's like comes in like 1x3x8 or by 12 at Home Depot, so we went with that. What else? So the reason why this and this, you have to be careful of everything you introduce into the cage. You got to make sure it's not toxic. And let's see what else. Yeah, the screws, again, you want to try to find stainless steel screws because they'll nibble on those. But most of the time they end up just like nibbling on the toys that are by their areas. So you don't have to worry too much. And let's see here. Also, yeah, the lights up here. I put a, what do you call, like a little dimmer. So you can, like, at nighttime, I like to dim it about 30-20 minutes before they go to bed. That kind of gives them the simulation, like, the sun's going down or something. Oh yeah, this one too. So I was worried that because they like to hang out right up here. If you close the door, they might get their feet caught or hurt. So I put this, like a cow catcher type thing. Basically, if they were up here and you just for some reason missed them, then you would end up like pushing them off without getting them hurt. Oh, also on the windows, I just remembered. So up here, you can see like it has like a little plastic on the outside, but down on the bottom it didn't. So sometimes they like bump into the windows. What you can do, there's got to be a better way, but I use white tape, like electrical tape. Problem is when the sun hits it, it ends up like making it warp. And they do get outside, so I put that tape over there too because they like to go out. They like going up in this area. And then there's another window. Oh, I didn't do that window. Yeah, they don't really bother this area, but maybe in the future I'll put a couple other pieces of tape over there. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sure I'm missing a few things. I'll improve it. I want to get like a live tree with leaves so they can eat one day. I'm not sure which kind, but eventually that's what I want to go to. In fact, it would be nice if I could have a bird room. Right now I can't do that, but in the future I think it's something that's possible. Another one thing too with this crepe myrtle branch, we put one in the top because although these branches are sturdy, the ones they're standing on, they're not good for their feet because they're just one size. So what we did though, the crepe myrtle branch broke on the sides, and then we used like a washer and a screw to hold it on. That way it won't break off from the sides. And let's see what else. Oh, not good. So yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, so the vents are on the bottom here. Gotta be careful of that. So luckily the vent kind of goes down below and it doesn't blow directly on them, but you gotta make sure, and also in the winter time, you don't want with the windows too much cold air coming on them. But I watch them pretty closely and I haven't really had a problem. And that looks like about it. So I'll give you a last shot of the birds. Here's Jasmine and Gizmo hanging out, and then you got, of course, Kiwi and LaBelle, and then what do we got over here? It looks like Sunny. He's a male, doesn't go in the coconut much, but, and then you got Pepe up there, he's happy, and Rajiv over here chewing on seeds. All right, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, put it in the comment section.